prioritizing and keeping that work ethic and life balance is really important. Sometimes work comes up. Right now I'm on a trip to Connecticut because I had to get some equipment repaired. I had to bring it over here, but I'm waiting at the repair place, and check this out. I'm right next to the repair place, and I'm looking at all these beaver runs and all this beaver sign and a lodge right there. Amazing. In my last episode, I was talking about beaver. Do we trap too many? And how many are left, and the history of trapping beavers in America. And right now, the beavers are doing really well. And actually, fur trappers are helping to control the population so there are less human beaver conflicts. Let's face it, 100 million beavers in America wouldn't work anymore. And with 15 million right now, not even just fur trappers can keep up with controlling the population. There's an awful lot of animal damage control trappers out of season, also trapping out beavers just to make sure that roadways aren't damaged and people's properties aren't damaged, and trees are not taken down in public parks and things like that. So we do have to conserve and preserve wild places for the beavers to thrive, but we also are left with controlling them as well so that we don't have as many conflicts. So this swamp right here is right next to this factory behind me, and I'm sure they've probably had to come in and have some control done. Super interesting. There's always something super interesting, and nature is just right out our back door. Hey everybody, I'm down at Trapper Joel Martz's fur shed again. It's kind of convenient that we live really close to each other. So he sent me this picture. Yes, he got a big haul today of beavers out on his animal damage control. They're banging as he's working on this beaver here. So I came down to actually help him skin, but he's kind of okay because everything's still wet. We got to let it dry.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, everything was, there was only one beaver that was dry this morning. That's, you know.
Oh, we got she's not too happy because I guess she was laying eggs over there. I'll go around this way and let her out. Come on, get out of there. There you go. Just catching up to you. Also, I had some family and work things, and I haven't trapped for a week, and I'm having withdrawals. So that's why I came down here to Joel's shop. I'm like, let me skin. The best way to learn is to do it.
I was just like, you know, I ain't got much room in here.
Yeah.
I'll do them later, you know, but
anytime it's a
tomorrow's going to be the big skinning day.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Once everything dries out.
Well, show us what you're doing here.
And it a little while ago.
Just got done flushing it, and he's hooping this one.
Yeah, I'm putting this on a hoop only because I need them to dry quick.
Oh, okay. As opposed to a board?
Yeah, board you know, they don't dry as fast. Where these hoops will dry a lot quicker. So.
And need it to dry quick because you got to get to the buyer.
The fur buyer's coming next week, so.
Oh, he comes by you, huh? That's nice.
Well, I'm going to Cobleskill.
Oh, okay.
So, which is, you know, better than driving all the way either to Geneva or going up to Williamstown where he lives.
Oh, gotcha.
So.
A meetup.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of. So one of the other trappers in the New York State Trappers, Kenny Halija, he's past president. He goes there and buys fur out of his fur shed. So.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I'm, you know, going up there for a couple hours.
Yep.
Next Saturday.
Yeah, everything will get a little more empty around here.
Yeah.
That's how my fur shed's empty except for my raccoons right now.
Yeah, I got stuff hanging in the same, and, you know.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
the season.
This all hit at the same time as you got to get those beavers off of those control properties.
Yep. And yeah, I want to get out there before the snakes get too bad.
Yeah.
where I'm at, the snakes are bad.
Oh boy, what kind of snakes?
Northern water snakes, and then if it gets real dry, then the timber rattlers come down out of the Berkshires.
Oh,
So
yeah.
and I don't want to be sticking my hands in places I don't, you know.
Yeah.
But hopefully the bearded beaver man keeps whacking them, you know.
Yeah, is that all you're using right now, or
Pretty
mixing
much.
it up? Yeah, okay.
I use John
good.
Pingley's too. I mean, he makes a really good beaver lure. But the bearded man is, he's doing it to it.
Yep.
So, but yeah, a lot of stuff moving around right now.
Yeah, that's
Springtime.
yeah. All those beavers that I saw in your truck just now, there's no tail dings. They're all smooth tailed. Doesn't look like they gotten any scraps.
Yeah.
Same thing for the fur, huh? No holes in the fur. There might be, huh?
I mean, this one's a little bit up. This is a fresh one from the other day.
Yeah.
Bite marks there, got bite marks there, so,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And my hoop got all wacky and bent for some reason.
Yeah. Now, when you're doing this kind of work, when you're in on those places, are you trying to get them all out, or are you trying? Yeah.
Well, I don't think I mean, I try to get a majority of them in a place like this, but it's just too massive to.
Right.
And I can't go onto other people's properties and stuff, so.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
it's just.
Yep. You're doing what you can in that
I'm
spot.
doing, I'm knocking them down as best as I can to, just kind of the ones that are surviving there are doing, got a little bit better chance. We all know disease, if that were to get rabies in there or something like we had last summer over here, I mean, that'd be a mess.
Right.
Because of the amount of people that walk that.
It's a rail trail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And I'm actually surprised that most people are pretty receptive to what I'm doing over there.
There were a couple of reasons I couldn't trap, and one is that I had 2 ovens in my restaurant break down on the same day.
Holy mackerel.
And we really need those. So repair guys to come and fix stuff like that cost so much money and take so much time. It's like sometimes you just might as well buy a new oven.
Because you got big commercial ovens.
Yeah, they're commercial. These are high-speed ovens for sandwiches and stuff.
Yep.
But the manufacturer's over in Connecticut. So I called them, and I've been pretty friendly with them over the years, and I went and drove the ovens over there.
Yeah.
And right next to their parking lot is a beaver hut, and all these beavers working in the swamp there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, can't get away from them.
No, I mean, the American beaver that's like the ultimate, what is it? They were almost extinct back in the day, and then, they're like the ultimate recovery.
Yep, exactly. So in my last episode was beaver, are we trapping too many? 1842, they were wiped out. We, trapped too many back then.
Right.
And nobody knew, that you.
Well, it's kind of like the wolves. I mean, they did the same thing to the wolves out west.
Yep. What's your set mainly?
So right now I'm doing a little bit of combination of both. I'm doing 330s.
Yeah.
Trail sets. And I'm doing foot traps, leg traps. Most of them are all caster mounts.
Okay. The tree damage bad. Because the public usually keys in on that. They're like, they're taking all these trees down.
They're not as bad as it was last year. Last year was really brutal. This year it doesn't seem to be as bad, but there are areas where they're...
Yeah. It's incredible once they get to work on the trees in some spots. Holy cow.
But you know what? I find that I'm seeing a lot of cattail roots that are like
pulled up.
So I'm just wondering if they're eating a lot of them too. You know what I mean?
It is incredible what they can eat. I saw a beaver in the Hudson River last year. I was just sitting down watching the sunset, and a beaver came out, and he was eating seaweed.
Really?
Yep. He was actually pulling seaweed along, and I could see him putting it in his mouth. I was like, wow.
It's like a garden salad.
Yep. They do diversify their diet, and I read about it too, and I was like, oh, okay. So...
Well, it's like in the I mean, a beaver down here probably wouldn't eat a lot of like conifer trees, you know what I mean?
Right.
Pine trees.
Yeah.
But you go up to the Adirondacks or even, you know, probably further north than that, and they probably, a lot of their, you know, diet is, you know,
they can get to it.
Spruce and, you know, whatever it is, you know.
Something, yeah. I saw some slides up in Vermont. I hiked the northern end of the Long Trail this summer, and there were some beavers up in the mountains there. They had a slide down the side of that mountain you could fit a car down.
Can you see it? This is a beaver slide. I mean, it looks man-made. It's so huge. Like, so they're using this to go up in the woods and get their trees to eat.
Really?
That thing was, my friends hiked by and they're like, what the heck did this? And I'm like, that's beavers.
Really?
Everything was matted down. They must have pulled, they pulled huge trees down through there, so it just made it so wide. It looked like an excavator.
They've been using it for so long.
Yep. And they don't get disturbed because they're up there in the mountains. You know, it's a mountain pond. Did you guys know that beavers can somehow sense water pressure with their tails? And it actually helps them decide on when and where to build dams. That's amazing too. Really adaptable animals.
They are. I mean, they're better than some people that do excavating. You know, dig ponds for a living.
Oh well, engineers study their dams, right? You know, I think the longest beaver dam in the world is in Canada. It's
they can see it from a satellite.
It's at half a mile long or something like that.
Yeah, I know that.
Yep. And it's still there. It's been there for, you know, hundreds of years or something like that.
My old buddy Vaughn always told me, you got to trap what you got. And this is what we got
a
lot of around here. So,
you
know.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back out because my traps are all out there doing nothing. Yeah, they're just sitting in the water until I get them reset.
Usually I leave them for like 2 weeks on the board.
Yeah.
You know, so they're good and dry.
And then you do as many as you can like this for your fur buyer, and then whatever's left you do to grow them all.
Well, some of these are, you know, most of these are pretty nice.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just, and plus these aren't on nuisance jobs, so I got to get the most I can get for them.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's the only reason. So the rest of these, like all these, they'll all go to Brony.
Yeah, gotcha.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Well, he'll be happy.
Yeah. Because I don't think, I mean, northern New York, they're just starting to get going up there.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of the lakes are still got a lot of ice on them.
Right.
So they're not going to get the beaver moving around like, you know, we got going on.
And the season's going to end on them.
And he's late this year. I mean, he's not coming till what, April 23rd?
24 or something like that?
23rd he's coming.
Yeah.
I just looked it up a little while ago.
23rd.
23rd,
yeah. What's the story there?
So I had a 330 on a caster mount, and I had a 750 on a caster mount.
Yeah.
And it was like this little point island that goes out. Foot trap on one side and the 330 on the other.
Yeah.
Second morning I come to check it, the 330's got a big old stick in it.
Huh.
I said, yep, okay. Following day, I got a stick in the foot trap.
Oh my gosh.
So
talk about using tools.
Yep. So I'm like, we got a smart one. I see where he was coming up on the bank all the way around.
Ah.
And I set a blind set for him.
Oh, you coyoted him.
On the chain. And,
a flat blind set?
He was sitting there yesterday.
Did you hide it good?
Yeah, I stuck it down in the mud and the leaves a little bit, but came there and I set it, what's today, Tuesday? Sunday, and I caught him on Tuesday.
Oh, okay. So took a couple of days to get across that path. Front
and I went in coyote mode. I went in there, I had my chest waders on, I had my rubber gloves on. I was like, yep. So
yeah.
Had to go into coyote mode.
Yup, that's what we call it when you gotta not spook them and totally surprise them. What's the what? Did you get a front foot or back foot on that blind set?
I had him by the back foot.
Back foot.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I wish I could help you because I brought my knives. But
yeah, no, I mean,
it's too wet.
Too wet. There we go.
Yep. Good job. Hey, well, it's always nice to stop by and talk to Trapper Joel.
He's obviously real busy, so I'm gonna get out of his way. But I'm happy to help you sometime if you need to.
Yeah,
Maybe
no.
we'll get out on your line after the season ends on the control stuff.
Yep. And see where we're at.
Yeah, and you know, maybe as trapping season's over, we'll do another fur shed talk and talk to some other trappers and who have different seasons than us and stuff. But good luck with everything.
Sounds good to me.
All right, catch you later.
Hey, if you watched this Trapper Snore episode this far, God bless you. And if you're not subscribed, you probably should, because I think you like this kind of stuff. I can tell you I love it. I just love it. I hope this can be my lifestyle for many years to come, and I'm going to just keep doing it. I'd rather be out on the beaver line right now, but I need to do something that's a trapper responsibility. I have to pull all my anchors off of this farm. Some of those anchors are in spots where they're not growing crops, so I'll be able to leave them, but a lot of them are right out in the fields, and I don't want them getting caught up in the farmer's equipment. This is an interesting one here. This was all dug out, so I messed it up a little bit right here just trying to find the anchor, but that hole was all dug out, so they're working it here. Might be good to keep this spot going for next year. But can see my my anchor's in pretty deep right there, so I'm gonna get that pulled out. One thing I learned is you should leave the loop on your cables a little bit bigger for this type of anchor puller, because the hook is pretty big. But basically we're just gonna hook it on. Oh, tripping over the corn stalks. So then that one actually came out really good, so this one's in good shape. It didn't bend. Sometimes you're in soft enough ground that you can get them out and they're going to be good for next year, so saving pennies. That one bent a little bit. At least for this one I can save the cable, you know, but bent that wolf fang. This is where I had a cubby. I never caught any bobcat on this one. I thought it was a good spot for them, but I caught fox here. And I had a flag the PVC pipe over the rebar here, and yeah, I don't want to leave this out in the field. I tried to get it out during the 9-degree temperatures and it wouldn't come out, so let's see about today. Although one viewer said if I took a hammer and knocked it down a few inches and then pull it back out, it'll come out.
Just 1 or 2 good hits, then use vice grip. A couple of twists and it will come up free. Really enjoy your content. Such a rewarding hobby we enjoy.
But I just flagged it off and waited, and we got it out. Definitely don't want this stuck in some farming equipment. And I didn't have any anchors in here. It was all drags, so those were easy to pull out. A couple buckets out here and a couple of my bucket sets we collected. This right down here is definitely the game corner. There are always deer in here and turkeys. And where there's prey, there's predators, so next year, I'm going to put some traps down in there. I imagine they have a lot of cover in these trees here, and they're always coming out feeding right on the edge of this field. One reason I waited to come out onto the farm to pull my anchors and a lot of my equipment is right as the snow is melting, it's super muddy, and you just tear the place up. But now, actually, it rained yesterday. It rained last night, and you can see I'm not digging into the farm. It's real easy to drive out here right now. And that's because the ground is thawed enough that, you know, all the moisture is going down deep and it's not just sitting on the surface and hitting that frost line. So, yeah, just got one more bucket and we're cleaned off the farm here. These ones I just held in with the T-bars, which works out real nice. I mean, you could pile up debris on either side and block them in with sticks, but this works out real good, easy. This one, I must have not had any drags left because I see I got the anchor in here. It's close enough to the edge of the field here that I don't want to get caught in the farmer's stuff. So we'll go ahead and pull this one. Real easy. And that one was saved, so perfect anchor. Well, that's it. I think I got everything pulled on this farm. I can't tell you how important this farm is to me because it's right out my back door. I can jump on my ATV. I spent so much time out here this winter, and it was essentially just me and the hunters. Yeah, we did have some trespassers because we are surrounded by a community here, but I am very, very appreciative that this farmer gives me exclusive permission to trap here. So I went ahead and sent him a text, and he said this: super great. Looks like I'll be good to come next year, and I will send him some chocolates for Easter and, you know, keep that good relationship going. So I had a trapper snore video going out just about every week there for a while. It was a nice stretch. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you're watching this one, it's coming out a little later for a few reasons. Mainly life. And the other reason that I couldn't video is my microphone broke. So in my last video, even got some comment.
That new microphone can't come soon enough.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I hated putting that video out with the terrible audio. I tried to repair it, but it just made it worse. So I just put it out the way it was. But now I've got this, which is a wireless remote mic, and hopefully it's working really good. And you guys can hear me clearly. And now that we got all the predator anchors out of this farm, I think we're going to go set some beaver traps today. Ooh, just wanted to show you what I'm doing here. Oh, there's some geese landing over there. That's cool. So this is kind of a mess right in here where some animals have been moving around, and it looks big enough that it's probably beaver. Also, right here, we see some clipping off those trees, and those trees are gone. So what I thought I'd do in this case is get a 330 right down in the water here where they're coming through this channel. So I already set that trap, and what I'm gonna do is just get some branches down into the springs and stabilize this in here, up right in here, and I'll show you the finished set. We're also going to put a little bit of caster on the ground in here, like where my boot is down in here. So this is the finished set down in here, and on this stick right here I'm going to put a little bit of this caster. Not making a mound in here, I'm just giving them some scent. These are like trails, so just giving them a little scent in the middle of that trail. If they come up from behind me, they're going to scoot down through here. We got an 8-inch gap on our 330. We got it crossed with some sticks to stabilize, and it's about halfway in the water. And we'll see how this goes. I'm cabled off to this log over here too. All right, here's another one where I'm just gonna slick up the bank here, not stepping in the water because I already got my trap set. I'm gonna make a little caster mound here, and this is a little swim in, and we're just gonna see how that one works. Right now I have limited time for my beaver stops, so I'm setting this place heavy, mainly because I enjoy it. I enjoy this property, and I know there's more beavers in here, and I'm just setting heavy. And they're going to catch the scent of this stick and want to swim over, and I got a little step over rock right there, so if they step right down in there to smell the stick, I got them. And this one here I already got a beaver on, but we're reset. So right between those two branches and under that log we have a 330, and from here it looks like there's a lot of swimming area, but there isn't. It's really only through that trap. And then what I did was I slicked up the bank here, put a little caster on a stick right here. We'll see how that works. Let's see if we can get another one here. Look what I found here. This is a pretty heavily used trail, and it comes out right to here. So we're gonna see what we find right over the bank there. That is a caster mound that the beavers made. So it's a little open, but I have a 330 under that stick, in between those two sticks in there. Well, I think if the beavers are square shy or shy to those 330s, you might miss them here, but this is a bit of a hike in and it's the only trap I had left, so we're just gonna try it. And we put a little competing caster right on the mound there. Oh, we got a pretty nice one here on this 330 conibear. It's the second one in this spot, and I'll give you a little tour of the set here. I just have a little mound here with a stick on it with some caster lure, and then I'm just putting that 330 underneath the log right there. You can see the top of it, and blocked it off on both sides. There's a little, kind of like a dam. It's actually just a culvert going out, and the beavers keep blocking it. So I'm getting their activity around here, and that's really the only place to swim under to come up to this bank here. So working out pretty good. Huh, Willie? Working out good. Got this nice big one here, maybe 40 pounder. We might as well bring this beaver back with us. Gonna grab some footholds to hike out to the next spot where I only have a conibear, and I think a foothold would be more effective. Got a bucket full of these. A little bit more beaver caster. Pair of pliers. Okay, let's go, Willie. We're gonna hike with our bucket full of window weights. So I'm definitely learning that we need at least 5 window weights to hold the beavers down, and the window weights aren't the best, honestly. The beavers can slide them because they're round, so they can drag them. Would be better off, I think, in the pond here from another beaver trapper, maybe years ago. There's a cinder block somewhere in the water. Oh, yep, I see it right off of this spot here. So when I come back this direction, I'm gonna go in there and chain off to that cinder block. And then the spot where I'm hiking in, I'm gonna use the window weights, but now I have 5 of them. So we'll weight them down a little bit. Because I'm going to admit today I would have had 2 beavers so far because I had a twist out. The trap is snapped off, and I got some beaver fur in there, and he was able to drag the weights up onto the bank, and eventually that swivel wasn't working, and it was probably a front foot, and he just got out. So that's my fault. I think we need to have better weights and make sure they stay down and they can't drag them up, because once they start getting tangled, that swivel stops working, and then the trap isn't moving around with their foot and they're able to twist out of it. I really like this area for bobcat, probably a lot of fox too. The owner will likely let me trap predators in here if I want to next year. So I also put a trail camera up on this trail we're walking. Make sure Willie's with me. Sometimes I can't hear him, and then he's just like right at my feet. This is where the exercise comes in. If this spot works out too, I might just stash the weights out here so I don't have to bring them in again next year. Right where I'm walking through now looks like a great spot to put a bobcat walk through. Check it out. I don't know if you can see, but right here is a very narrow trail, and there's an opening at the end of it. I would put a bobcat walkthrough right in here, and just to kind of watch what's going on, I have a camera right there on the tree where they would come into this here. So we'll be checking that. Otherwise, my friends, who you have probably seen here if you've watched any other episodes of Trapper Snore, Trapper Joel Martz and Trapper Mike Bobber, have been doing really good. And those guys have been trapping straight out here in the springtime where I had to stop for a while. So they're doing really good on water trapping. Willie likes to be right up close and helping. Oh, these huge snap rings come in handy for window weights. Yeah, then we can take and snap it right around this cable. All right. We're gonna set that trap right at this ramp here. If I had another one, I'd put it on that side, but this is a good spot where they come up. My 330 is still set there, so I'm just gonna leave that. I got an old 6x6 here. I'm just gonna use that to block off this side. Make them want to go up that side anyways. And then we're gonna put a little bit of caster up the bank here and some on the mound, get them all interested. Willie, you're too close, bud. I can see the beavers are eating all on these branches here, so they're definitely coming up on the bank here. We're just gonna put some right there. Let's go, buddy. Up. Okay, now we got 2 traps set here. All right, we're gonna repurpose this cinder block. If I can get it. Put on the gauntlets. Yep. All right, this is perfect. We'll chain off to this for that spot where the beaver brought the window weights up onto the bank and twisted out. I told you guys I'd be honest with you when I make mistakes, so hopefully you don't make the same ones. But right here, it's so shallow and there's not really a drop off, it's just real gradual. Get out of here. So it's easy for the beavers to drag the weights up onto the bank, so we're gonna get this cinder block out there, which is gonna grip into the bottom and he's not gonna be able to drag it up. Oh, well, Willie just licked it off, but we had a little blood on this side of the trap. There's a little bit down here you can see. And that's what tells me he twisted out. And if there's a big family here, then hopefully over the next few days, we only have another week here, we'll get another family member curious in here that hasn't stopped by before, because this is a pretty huge swamp. So they're traveling around. Or maybe a youngster. I'm just going to slide this back. Perfect. It's out as far as I can throw it. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And we're going to put the trap right back where it was last time. Caster mound is right here. And he's coming right up through. This is a perfect spot. It's nice and firm in here. He's going to be walking. Both of those were front foot catches. I don't know if I should put it deeper so I get a back foot catch. Willie, what are you doing, bud? Don't want to catch you in this trap, buddy. Come on, move it out. I'm going to put it just a couple inches deeper so that if the water goes down, it's not exposed. And we'll get some bearded man on this little pile right here. And if we get him this time, he's not going to twist out. We got swivels on that trap. We got it tight underwater. All right, Willie. Actually, this time we're going to go with Chappie's Invader. See if Chappie brings us some good luck. This is a small batch lure from a friend of mine. That is first year trying it. And he said it's like 25-year-old casters. I'm not sure if that makes a difference. But I'm going to put that right there. Smells good, man. I love beaver caster smell. All right, Willie, let's get out of here. We're all set. It's April Fool's Day today, so I got fooled by that one beaver, but I got the other one. And I feel confident that we reset a little bit better. Really glad to be back out enjoying these beautiful mornings. And you know what? I feel like I'm more productive at work after I get back from the trap line than if I didn't go outside and enjoy the day first. The other day I saw trout jumping around in here. Oh, there goes a couple right now. Hard for you to see probably. All right, Willie, there you go, bud. Willie just does not want to let me be too far from him. He's like, wait, you're going back? No, I'm coming, I'm coming. This landowner is real happy because they got a major beaver problem here, backing up their fields. You can see where they're trying to grow things. It's just water's encroaching on them from every angle. Willie and I are out here checking the beaver traps. Hey, Willie, here. He's a good boy. He comes right over to me when it's time to get across the river. Right, buddy? He got a haircut, so he's doesn't have too much warmth. Okay, there you go. All right, buddy, we can go. I really am careful that I don't have any conibear sets near where he gets to walk. Beautiful spot. So we're checking some of the beaver sets. This one hasn't ever gotten any action. Hey, Willie, up here, buddy. Thank you. I got a foothold right down in there and some caster on that stick there, and it's just like a swim by. No action. We got some cameras with batteries now, so we're going to put these out on a couple of these sets. Actually, I like it the day after when the water's all settled and you can see through the water that we have a nice narrow swim through there, and that's why that got a couple of beavers. Just quickly, I'm in the fur shed here today, gonna take care of this beaver. He's a little dusty still, but anyways, I wanted to show you something. Just got a little fan here up on the wall, and I use my gambrel and just hang the beaver, so when I come back with beavers, hanging them up is a great way to get them dry. This guy is completely dry and ready for skinning. And that way when I put them in the freezer, because I'm selling these guys green, the fur stays pretty nice. It doesn't mat down frozen. Oh, you can see the wool on this guy's belly. Awesome, very soft. So yeah, it's really good to make sure you dry them out before you skin them. I'm pretty surprised about this spot here. My trap is still right down in there on the left of that caster mound. And yeah, I have a camera here. We'll check that tomorrow. Right now I'm not seeing any sign of anything happening here, so that's fine. It's been super fun. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna change gears to some other outdoor things, and I can't wait to talk to some trappers more in the off season and learn more and get ready for next year. So we're coming up on one of the beaver sets here. Willie's checking ahead of me, and I see a lump out there. You see that lump? That lump right there. Looks like we got another one here. I don't know if I'm a weirdo or what, although I'm happy about getting this beaver here. I'm kind of bummed that it's the only set that's working here, meaning I got a bunch of other footholds, had a couple misses, and then This spot just keeps scoring. So I did everything right here. The 330 is what's working. We got him right by the head. I mean, look at that. That's perfect. Died instantly. Looks like a young beaver, maybe 2-year-old. We definitely got a little problem on his fur here. It's got an infection, probably got bit on his back. So we got a little fur issue there. Luckily, a lot of the wool is on the belly side, so still going to have some value, but we do run into that. All right, look out, Willie. We're going to get this guy up on the bank. Look out, Bubba. It's definitely nice to have some productive mornings on these last few days of trapping season, though, and not have like a big 0 on the last few days. So, awesome memories. These beavers in here are definitely not recognizing the 330s. I haven't had any misses on the 330s, and that's probably why. So, we're just getting them every time they come through here. Ugh. I always think they're smaller, and then I go to pick them up, and it's a pretty big guy. Good tail. Look out, Willie. Oh, we're just going to do the same exact thing here on this one and see if it might work for just a couple more nights. Let's get off the cable. Perfect. What's cool about trapping is you invest in this equipment once and it can work for you over and over and over again. You know, I know sometimes trappers complain about getting into the sport and the price of the supplies, but if you're using them over and over and over again, they're helping to pay for themselves over and over and over again. Just got to take care of them. I have a lot of work in the off season, power washing and getting all my traps cleaned up and adjusted. Somewhere down here we have an H stand. What I usually do is try to feel with my waders. Generally you can feel that metal. It feels different than wood. I think I got it. Yep. So there it is. So we're just gonna put our trap on the stand first. Get it in the muck here. And then I'm gonna take the safeties off now and press right down on that. Right in the same exact spot. And every time they get caught, they mess up where I blocked them in with these same branches that are floating around when I get here. So we'll just stuff these back in on both sides. Part of my theory here is that we have beavers in a large area, so they're traveling around, and so we have new ones coming by. That's why we're getting them in this set. Also, as before, I'm slicking up this so we have some visual appeal. And since it is the last couple nights, I'm just going to put a little bit more bearded man over here, give him some good smell. Keep them coming. Pretty nice beaver, Willie. It's a pretty good one. When they're as long as my little pelican tote here, I know I got a pretty good one. Come on, Willie. I'm such a nice daddy, huh, Willie? Take you over these rivers. Kind of smells out here today. I think spring is coming. We're getting some wonderful organic matter stench. All right, let's hope we don't lose our beaver down the stream. Good job, buddy, good job. I think we took on a little water, but not too bad. All right, here you go. Good boy. The fur trapping life balance. We can do it. Just make sure you take care of your priorities. You can still get back at it, and if you're paying attention to being a good trapper, you can still catch things with less time. Well, in this spot here, we have the beaver's caster mound here, and then my foothold's right down in there. And I had a conibear about over here, And we can see in this video we had a visitor. And I knew this wasn't a great set for the conibear. I came in here before I had any footholds. It's kind of a hike, and I just kind of stuck it in, which is a bad idea. You should always be confident about your sets. So I did switch things around this morning. I have the 330 over here, and I made sort of a row of branches. So if he comes in the same way, he should either get caught in the 330 or get caught in the foothold right down in here. We only have 2 more nights. We'll see how it goes. I'll tell you what, these little pelican sleds are like a trapper's best friend when it comes to trying to get out of a swamp or into a swamp with, oh geez, caught on a branch. Just when I'm saying it's the best, it's a little difficult. Right now, springtime, everything is thawed. I remember when me and Willie were just running across this, the frozen ground, it was so easy. This is the one that's got the cinder block on it, so I'm gonna pull that cinder block up and put it right near the edge here for next year, since it was left out here. Oh, that is heavy. Yeah, we'll leave it right here so it's easy to get to. Doesn't look like we have any tight chains here, guys, but something did grab this branch and move it. So the beavers were here. The trap is right down in here, and I can see it's still here, so nobody stepped on that one. But it's kind of a good sign. This one too, I'm gonna try to stash my weights, but let's get this trap tripped off before we step in it. I might have had the trap in the wrong spot because that branch was up here, and there's a lot of obstacles here, but I tried to make a little step over rock right there, but maybe I did it wrong. Only one more trap to check for the 2024-25 season. I'm so sad that trapping is over. Oh man, I'm just gonna have to find some other way to get out. Change gears, as Chappie says. It's such a bummer that trapping season and checking traps every morning has now come to an end until next October and November.
Hey Trapper Dan, you are the one who is always talking about Trapper's Snore, a sustainable, natural, organic and renewable resource.
Who the hell are you, my conscience?
Don't you still agree that the fur bearers need their time to reproduce, and that wildlife conservation and ethical fur trapping is about ecosystem science and best management practices?
Yes, okay, I get it. Yep, that's true. I can't be a greedy fur trapper. It's over for a reason, because we're ethical and we're following the best management practices and the science of the ecosystem to help this sustainable, natural, organic, and renewable resource to continue. Gosh, man, if you guys are still watching, God bless you. You've been here and you've been following me, and I would say probably you're a Trapper Snore Star fan club or something, because a very few percentage of people watch all the way to this point. Thank you so much. We're going to check this last trap. Well, it's quite a hike out here, and we are sneaking up on the last trap, and I can see it is still underwater. So we have MB 750 right there, and we've got our 330 out there, and that is it. You know how I say I'm always honest with you guys? Well, I absolutely lied. Check this out. I totally forgot that along this stream right here, I set a 330 up in this narrow section. I thought it would be a great place for the beavers to be shooting down through right here, and I kind of like blocked it off and put it right in here. And also it's an excellent otter place when otters are in season. So my H stand is under the water there. You can see it right there. And over here is my last trap I'm checking. And I think I got something. Yep, I got something. A big sucker. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's my first fish in a 330. I can't believe it. It happens. Thanks so much for coming along on the Trapper Snore channel. I hope if you aren't, you could please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, like our stuff here. It makes a big difference in getting the algorithms of YouTube working, so more and more people are exposed to what ethical, responsible wildlife conservation is. Remember, everybody, Trapper Snore, sustainable, natural, organic, and renewable resource. Catch you on the next one.